Hey, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I wanted to sit with you mamas and talk about quality quiet time. If you'd like to hear more, then let's get started. Hey you, did you hit that play button for the very first time? Well, welcome to the channel. I'm Tasha. This is Tasha Pivots, where we talk about all things mamahood and homeschool and how I'm pivoting through this journey. So quality quiet time. Last week I actually did like a random just little story on Instagram, and I had some classical music playing. My girls were painting, just like freestyle painting, and I got a lot of DMs about quiet time. Like, what does that mean? Is that possible? What are you doing? And I was like, you know what? I haven't updated in a while. Like, what does our quiet time look like? And why is it important? How are we using it in our home? And so, let's talk about it. I've got me some tea. I hope you've got a warm beverage this morning if you're watching, or maybe it's a cool glass of water. It's warm this week in Texas. As this video is going up, it's going to be in the 90s, and we are just trying to like catch up. Like, I'm not quite ready for summer yet, but you know, the weather is taking on its own little thing. Anyway, so quiet time. Some people, they've probably been fostering this in their homeschool for a long time. Ours looked more like Bible time, morning basket time. And I just starting in the past couple of weeks have really been checking in with what quality quiet time looks like for me. What do I need to be refueled? What do I need to really take moments of pause to take breath? And why is it important? What is the changes happening with me? Journaling those things so that I can then do that and foster that with my children. I recognize for me, I'm often clenching my teeth, my jawline when I'm stressed or overwhelmed. And I have a lot going on, you know, as most mothers do. We have a lot going on in our day in and day out. And so with that, quality quiet time is not something that would be nice and is a possibility. It's a necessity to my home. And it's something that like I'm starting now, but we're taking into full force and really capturing those times going into our 2022-2023 school year. So I'll be sharing some of our quality quiet time recommendations and things that we'll be doing in that when we get closer to sharing some curriculum videos in the next couple of weeks. With that, where I start with is that it used to be like, oh, they have their morning basket. They can do that before we have breakfast or after breakfast. But I recognize that, you know what, I'm kind of tossing out this religious kind of like schedule lifestyle thing. Like, my life doesn't look like that anymore. It doesn't look like we just have a 9 to 5, or, you know, at this block we do this, at this block we're going to do that. Sometimes it's going to be chaos. It's going to be, and I want that's real. We have chaos in the morning sometimes. We've got one kid who doesn't want to wear shorts and a t-shirt. They want to wear a dress. We want one kid that decided they want pancakes. The other one wants a boiled egg. Whew, even in that, I have to take a breath. So I want you to know that, hey, quality quiet time is possible. I try to look at it as having at least 2 quality quiet times a day. One will be at the start of morning if it's possible. And what that looks like for our family is my children are welcome to do the things that bring them joy, but allow them to be independent in their own time. That might be my 4-year-old sitting and just flipping through pages of a book and looking at the pictures. That's keeping her in her quiet time. That's allowing her to adjust to the day. That for my 8-year-old might be her sitting and reading a couple chapters of her independent reading book that she's chosen for the week. Or it's them doing a puzzle, or it's them sitting and painting and putting on classical music in the morning and just letting it, or calm music. Whatever it needs to be, it's time for them to just be with themselves and be in the moment, be present in the moment, take in the breath, take in the time. For me, it looks like journaling between feedings. It looks like maybe I'm having some time where I get to read in God's word, and I'm having my devotional, or I'm reading my Lowly Veil book of the month. There's so many different ways that you can kind of navigate and feed whatever it is that you need in that time. For me, I also recognize that breath is huge. And so I'm looking into getting certified as a breath work, not breath worker, but like certified in breath work rather, because it's important. I think us as women, us as mothers, we are often holding our breath. We're holding our breath to the next subject. We're holding our breath to the next hour. We're holding our breath till our spouses get home. We're holding our breath, waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like, oh, homeschooling day has gone too well today. What's going to happen? You know? And so breath is really the top of tier of me having a quiet time. And that's taking moments like you saw in the beginning of the introduction where I just took inhale and I exhaled everything else out. If I'm feeling overwhelmed, if we're holding weight on the tops of our shoulders, just like releasing that through our breath. And I'm learning to use that in my reaction versus, or my response versus reaction attitude with my kids. If they get into something they're not supposed to and I want to just snap off and pop off because I'm like, I've told you how many times. I'm learning to take a moment to pause and breath, and that is even a quiet moment, you know, that's a word right there. Take in having quiet moments more so than just quiet time. Quiet time can look as a few seconds, a few minutes, or it can look like an hour. The second version of like having quiet time for our family is I really encourage my children to take up space of just laying down and just being quiet. And it's okay. Now, your 4-year-old and below may have a hard time, or a 5-year-old may have a hard time feeling like they've got to do something. This is to really help with that. So for me, especially for my 4-year-old, she's the high functioning, high energy, always on the go, always ready to move. And so I've been really teaching her to take moments to pause. Like, hey, let's lay on the floor and let's just take some deep breaths. You know, just slow, deep breaths, even if you've got to count down from 10 to 1 slowly, and just breathe. I was told this one time and it stuck with me forever. We are often, by culture, by society, by just our own, maybe our own success and achievement, gold-minded selves, we are always feeling like we're human doings, like we've got to be doing something. You're not adequate unless you're doing something. You are not living up to the fullest potential as a homeschooling mom or as a mama in period, or a wife, or whatever the labels that you may attach to, unless you're doing it. And what we need to realize is that we're not human doings, we're human beings. And so taking moments to pause and just be. And so that is really the connection to my quality quiet time, is that I'm learning to be. My children are learning to be. If that means that the slowness of the day is them laying down and just taking in the moment. If they're super emotional, like often you'll hear my children, if you're ever in the walls of my house, you'll hear when they get really upset, I need to calm down first. And you know, I laugh because I hear the voice of them doing it, but it's actually very beautiful that they know that they need a moment to calm whatever it is that they're feeling before they move on to the next thing. And that is also fostered into our quality quiet time. So I have a few things here that I just wanted to show you that like even Josephine's been doing in her quality quiet time. I have this cute little puzzle set, puzzle sticks. Now, don't feel that you need to buy anything that I have showing here. I just like to show just to give you some ideas of what we're doing. Josephine, this comes with like 6 different puzzles that she does, and they're front and back, and they're sticks and shapes, and it takes her a minute, and she just does this. And with that, and also want to say, just put that in there, is that even when they're having quality time doesn't mean that you have to take that quality time then. You can have yours later too. It's really okay to have a boundary of quiet for you when it's best for you and what's best for them. But when she's doing this, I'm often maybe in the kitchen, or I'm doing a feeding, or I'm throwing a load in the laundry. Like there could be so many things happening when my kids are having their quiet time. There could be even a moment where I'm sitting and I'm like this. Okay, we got this day. So there's puzzles, lots of puzzles here. A lot of these I've shown to you guys in our morning basket. Zoe's is a little bit more internal work, because I'm reaching out to her to just foster an attitude of like reflection, teaching her accountability for her own thoughts and her own actions and her own choices. And with that, it's often in her prayer journal that she'll write her thoughts of thankfulness, of gratitude, teaching her that as well. This is an advanced prayer journal that I love. It has the little sections. It's very simple. I'll link it down below if you want to check it out. Another one is this one, the scripture memory map. Zoe's been reading Proverbs this last 3 months. I feel like she's been taking each chapter 1 week at a time. And she'll pick a memory verse. She'll describe how she feels about it, how she can apply it. We'll have discussion at times. And sometimes we don't, and that's okay. You know, those are the things that they do, and they break off around here in the house. And then sometimes it'll be like, hey, do you guys want to paint today? And I'll just put out some watercolor. I'll give him a paintbrush, and we'll start the day that way. Not, oh, we've got to do book work before we can have fun time, or we've got to do book work before we can have quiet time. No, you can have quiet time when it is best for you to have quiet time. So I hope that you are encouraged by that. Even for me, Mama, quiet time is me just taking moments of breath, taking moments to sip my tea, taking moments to journal. And also it's okay for me to be absolutely still and just not do anything. And it doesn't matter if it's a moment, a second, an hour, 30 minutes, whatever that looks like for you. Just encouraging you even today to take a moment to find your breath, find a moment to just be in gratitude and enjoy that quality time. Receive the quality time that you should have. I hope this video again has encouraged you. If you have any thoughts of what your quiet time looks like, or you think that it would be encouraging to share, please put it down in the comments below. I'd love to see them. I'd love to read them and learn from you as well. Thank you so much for being here. Give this video a warm thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And until next time, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.